Okay, so I messed up, and I messed up in a kind of significant way. So much so that what you're seeing doesn't directly correlate to what I'm saying. And the reason for that is that I'm watching this gameplay and I'm gonna commentate it. Because I was a dum-dum and I recorded several episodes of Fallout in one go, and basically I saved the episode 7 or part 17's audio as part 16's audio, this part's audio, overwriting it, and didn't realize until I went to edit it the next day, at which point I couldn't like Control Z or anything in Audacity, which I used to record my commentary, so yeah, I was a bit of a dum-dum. This episode is going to be very different because of that. But I do, you know, I have this all out in my editing timeline. I'm looking at it and I know what's coming up. So I know when dialogue's going to happen, and I know when important dialogue's going to happen, and I know that there's nothing important going to happen for a little while. So what I figure we'll do for, you know, this episode, because it's like 30 minutes long. No, it's not. It's almost, oh God, it's almost 40 minutes long. Out of all the episodes I could have messed up, it had to be this one. Anyway, this is going to be different, and I do apologize for that. I will try and make sure it doesn't happen again. I would have just gone back and re-recorded all of this if I didn't just use the quick save system in Fallout. I've never ever made this mistake with recording in like the 6 years I've done YouTube, so this is new for me. Anyway, I keep hitting my mic because I have this opportunity to talk with my hands. It's weird. Anyway, so what you're seeing here is following up from coming out of Vault 114 with Nick Valentine, who is a very interesting character indeed. We're heading back to Diamond City, which is where Nick is. The start of this episode actually picks up after a conversation I had with Nick, which I did record but had to scrap because I was having issues. I was using the beta version of Fallout 4 actually, which I think I'd mentioned in a previous episode I wanted to test out. Turns out it wasn't very good. It actually gave me worse performance than I've been having with the game in general, so that's interesting enough. But I told Nick to go back to Diamond City and I will meet him there, which is what we're gonna do. And just here, you can probably hear it. There's a radio, but I can't see it. And it was really weird, honestly. It was really strange hearing this radio and not being able to see it, because it's some weird conversation thing, and then they start playing music. It's just weird. I think it was maybe inside the sort of cabinet thing there, the wooden thing. But there's the music started, of course, and it's just very strange. But yes, we told Nick to go back to Diamond City after rescuing him from Vault 114. And I picked up some weapons. I think I picked up this sniper in the process of all of that as well. There was a building that had a bunch of raiders in it that I cleared out and decided to, you know, deal with. And I picked up a sniper and it turned out to be good. The sniper is actually pretty decent. It's a fun weapon, definitely. Not necessarily my favorite, I will say. I do really enjoy the hunting rifles. I don't know. I feel like the way I play Fallout in general, I'm better with sort of medium to long range weapons rather than long to extremely long range weapons, which is what a sniper would be. So I definitely feel like the hunting rifle is much more me. I mean, it can do long range, I just need to be really good with it. And unfortunately, you know, I'm not really good with it. I'm not so good at the whole shooting thing just yet. I'm getting there. I mean, I'm definitely getting there. It's just, it's challenging. It is. It's very challenging to, I don't know, the shooting in Fallout 4 thus far, and if it's not already apparent to you, this video is basically going to be a Fallout 4 podcast, except for story. You'll be able to follow along with the story and all the conversations we're having, but this is all I can do. I'm so sorry. This is why there were no videos yesterday, because I've spent all day trying to make this work and trying to get this to happen, and it's annoying. But again, I'm so sorry. I will try and make sure this doesn't happen again. But whatever the case, doing a little bit of upgrading here, crafting. I don't know if I mentioned it in a video, but I mentioned on Twitter a while ago that I did some, I looked into the crafting and the building and all that stuff in Fallout 4, and I I really want to get into it at some point. I really want to give it a proper shot, you know? I want to spend some time. That's sort of why I'm doing some story missions here, because I realized we spent so long exploring and not really achieving anything in the grand scheme of Fallout. I mean, generally speaking, if you know Fallout games, you'll know that a lot of the game is exploration and side quests, but I do want to do some main story stuff until, you know, we get to a reasonable point, and then I'm going to take another 5 or 6 episodes to do some side stuff again, which may even involve just building a lot of stuff, because, like I said, I read into the crafting, I read into the building, and I'm really interested in it. I'm really, like, super excited about giving the whole building thing a proper go, because it just seems really cool, you know? Was it this episode or was it a previous one? I don't remember. But, you know, going and defending Covenant, I got there too late. Again, might be this episode, might have been the last one. I don't remember. Fallout's a bit of a blur. I play a lot of Fallout. I really, really do. I really like this. Like, that's how this problem came about. I played too much of it in one go and overwrote an episode save. But whatever the case, you know, it doesn't matter. Basically, I play a lot of Fallout. I like Fallout a lot, and I really want to get, you know, the most out of it that I can. And this whole series is going to take so long, because I'm going to, you know, when the main story's done, that's not the end of this Let's Play. The end of this Let's Play will be not 100%ing the game, because that'll be episode 457,000 or something. But, you know, I'm definitely incredibly excited. Anyway, we've just got back into Diamond City here, and we're going to be speaking to, I believe it's Nat, who is Piper's little sister, who has got the issue of Public Occurrences, Piper's newspaper, which has my interview in it. And if you don't remember, that interview was the one that I carried out with Piper about me being a vault dweller. And there's a cat. There's a cat in Diamond City, and I am quite okay with there being a cat there.
Selling papers is busy work, mister.
Hey, Nat.
Hey, mister, that interview you did with Piper is really selling. Here's your free copy.
And we get a free copy of Public Occurrences, which I figured would be worth reading. And I'm quite glad I decided to read it, because this is easy to commentate, because I'm just reading. So, Public Occurrences, from View from the Vault, Part 1. Let's have a read. So there's the title page, and we go down and we have, whenever I take a walk through Diamond City, there are so many things people tell me to be grateful for. Purified water, working lights, electricity, security. True, what we have would have been unthinkable even a few decades ago, but it's easy to forget that even after all the progress we have made, we are... And I'm apparently taking my time to read this because I think I stuttered when reading this. This is going to be difficult to read, isn't it? There we go. Still living in the shadow of the world that was. A world before the threat of radiation, before the super mutant and the feral ghoul and the synth. So, as fortune often has it, I crossed paths with Dylan Conflict, Vault Dweller. I was reading that! What would his fresh set of eyes say about how far we've come? Is Diamond City the great green jewel we have always claimed it to be? Before we even begin to answer that question, we have to know who Dylan Conflict is, where he comes from. To my surprise, he did not have much to say about his life in the vault at all, because he spent all that time staring at a piece of frozen glass. Every day for over 2 centuries, that's right, he isn't just a vault dweller, he's an original vault dweller. He spent his entire time on the inside, cryogenically suspended. And then we continue in Part 2. This is going well, I think. Continued from Part 1. So what does he have to say about seeing Diamond City for the first time? Can you even compare the two? The world out here, it's not even close to whatever. While we like to think of our city as a shining jewel, it's worth remembering that not everyone comes here by choice. Sometimes people are forced from the comforts of their homes, and as the largest settlement in the Commonwealth, this is where they end up. Most are just looking for refuge. But sometimes... they come here desperately looking for something or someone. You see, Dylan Conflict has a son, Sean, and even though they were in the relative safety of the vault, someone broke in and took Sean from his parent, and that parent is now risking everything wandering through this strange and unfriendly world of ours in order to save Sean from his kidnappers. We all know the rumors and whispers that surround every missing person in Diamond City, the guilty looks we pass to mourning family members as we thank the wall that, this time, it wasn't us. And we continue to wait for the... there we go. You can end up dead in the Commonwealth for a million reasons. Why spend our time worrying about kidnappings? Why indeed? Then we have part 3! It's easy for us to be cynical about the missing. We have spent so long knowing the Institute is out there, but knowing so little about them. They are not the only ones responsible for kidnappings, but the fact that they sometimes are, and the fact that we have been so powerless to stop them when they do, causes us to treat all victims of kidnappings as if they are a lost cause. But the people left behind, those loved ones, friends, and neighbors who may never see the faces of those taken from them again, they do not have the luxury of being able to just look away. They have to carry that loss with them forever, even if everyone else tells them to move on and forget. I asked Dylan Conflict to make a statement to Diamond City to give an outsider's perspective on what it means to lose a loved one and how it feels. Maybe in some... we wait. Maybe in some way, it's how we should all feel. Maybe we've forgotten what the right human response to these tragedies are. You can only take it one day at a time, he said. Just keep going. That's all anyone can do. And scene. And scene. There we go.
Hey.
Time for some travel fuel. Want one?
Is everything all right between us, Piper?
Well, things aren't bad. Because believe me, you'd know if they were. But I suppose we could be doing better.
Your thoughts?
Doing the right thing rarely makes you popular. But I don't think I could live with myself otherwise.
That's all for now.
Okay.
Is it obvious? I'm curious to see how far this relationship with Piper can go, because it probably should be.
Hey, you were in the paper, right? You're 200 years old. Looking pretty good for your age, huh?
You know, I agree with that guy. I'm looking very good for my age. Now this guy don't know what baseball is, and it's actually very interesting. But apparently we get to him in a minute.
Yeah, I'm the new guy.
Well, it's good to have you here. Name's Arturo Rodriguez. If you need protection, let's talk.
I've got a few minutes to browse.
Don't forget to stock up on ammo.
So, I'm pretty sure this is actually the first time I've properly seen Diamond City during the day. And I have to say, it's really strange. Like, it sort of reminds me of Megaton from Fallout 3, with regards to the fact that it's, during the night, it's not all that bustling, then during the day, it's this bustling place with security and lots of people and traders and all that stuff. And, I mean, I like it. I do. I really do like it. It's kind of great. Also, selling Righteous Authority, because I never use it, honestly. It's interesting, honestly, having Righteous Authority and never using it, but whatever, let's, back to Diamond City and Megaton. Yeah, I definitely see the, or at least I definitely feel there's a bit of a correlation. I think Megaton from Fallout 3, I mean, I blew it up. I blew up Megaton. I'm not gonna lie. I completely decimated Megaton, and, don't know that I necessarily feel sorry about it even to this day. But it's definitely, there's definitely similarities there, and I'm okay with it. I liked Megaton, I like Diamond City, I like that I've got property in Diamond City as well, that's quite interesting. I do regret spending 2,000 caps on property in Diamond City, because I am probably never gonna really use it, because the chances are I'm most likely going to build up good old Sanctuary Hills at some point. So yeah, it's a bit weird having property, but it's kind of cool as well. It's not, I want to have property everywhere, basically. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want to have property just absolutely everywhere.
You there! You need a genuine, authentic, custom-made hickory swatter.
Thank you for meeting me here.
What's a swatter?
Rookie, eh? A swatter, my friend, is a Diamond City tradition. See, it used to be that this whole place was a stadium, and two teams would meet and play a game called baseball. One team would beat the other team to death with these things called baseball bats, and the best bats were called swatters. True fact.
Look, dumbass, that's not how baseball was played.
That right, Mr. Smarty Pants? If you're such an expert, how do you think it was played?
There were balls, strikes, 3 bases, and home runs. You kept score by how many runners made it to home plate.
Huh. Sounds almost elegant. You sure that's baseball?
I like my version better. Now, can I interest you in these genuine, authentic, custom-made hickory swatters?
Let's see what you have.
Feel that heft, hmm?
You know, I never really thought about the idea that history is as lost as it is in the world of Fallout. I know that's weird, you know, a lot of history is missing. People don't really remember the world before the bombs fell because it was 200 years ago, so the equivalent to about 2.5 generations. But no, that's more, that'd be more than, no, it'd be about 2.5 generations, say 3 generations back since the bombs fell, and it's just interesting that things like baseball would be forgotten. That's kind of cool, honestly. I kind of like that.
So thirsty. Doctor says I can't drink liquor no more. Cola. Need a Nuka-Cola.
Interesting thing here. Didn't realize I was being given a not given a quest, but Mr. Sheffield needs a Nuka-Cola, apparently.
You get treats? No. Hey, Sheffield. It's all tricks.
Nuka-Cola.
You want a soda? Is that it?
Come on. We can spare something, can't we?
Dugout Inn usually has some, but I can't go there. Can't be around booze. Doctor says I can't drink that.
Here you go.
Real sweet of you.
Ah, thank you. Thank you.
Again, you know, I kind of like being a good guy. A lot of people have complained you can't be evil in Fallout 4. I'm kind of enjoying being a good guy, honestly. It's nice.
Hey.
Where to?
Hey, Piper.
Cap for your thoughts?
Is everything all right between us, Piper?
It's hard to say at the moment. I think I need you to show me you're not just out here for yourself.
Your thoughts?
Most folks are just looking for a hand. All we gotta do is offer.
That's all.
All right.
Again, curious to see how far this relationship with Piper can go. And she did say that most people need help, so we should probably help this guy.
Got any work?
Well, if you want to help the sport, I got a lead on a stash of pre-war collector's items. Coach, quitting is for punks west and had an estate not too far from here. Legend says when he retired, the league presented him with a baseball, catcher's mitt, and playing card signed by all the other coaches. See where I'm going with this? I'll pay 100 caps each for those relics. What do you say?
100 caps seems light. I need more.
I like your moxie. We'll make it 125 caps apiece. How's that sound?
A card, a mitt, and a ball. Got it.
I thank you. And baseball thanks you.
Hey, I'll be right back.
Again, very interesting that history has been forgotten to the degree that it has, and now this guy's wanting these baseball relics, which I suppose by this point would legitimately be relics, I suppose.
Ellie? Are you here?
Nick? Oh God, it's really you.
Well, it's hard to mistake this mug for anyone else.
You keep laughing at death. Someday, death's gonna laugh back.
Not as long as I got a few friends to back me up.
You saved Nick, this agency, and my job. Thank you.
Hey, happy to do it.
Yeah? Go diving into scary pre-war ruins all the time then, do ya? Here, every cap we agreed to for finding him. Plus a little something extra. You know, if you're looking for work and don't mind putting on the detective hat, Nick sure could use a new partner.
Whoa. One case at a time, Ellie. Our new friend needs our help first. All right, let's get down to business. Take a seat. Make yourself comfortable. trying to find someone who's gone missing. The devil is in the details. Tell me everything you can, no matter how painful it might be.
My wife was murdered. She was trying to keep them from taking Sean, and they just...
It's okay. You don't need to say anything more.
So, we're talking about a group of cold-hearted killers, but they waited until something went wrong to resort to violence. What else can you tell me?
We were in a vault when it happened. Vault 111. It was some kind of cryo facility.
You were on ice, huh? More importantly, you were underground, sealed up. There's a lot of obstacles to get through just to take one person. Anything else you remember?
We're looking for my son, Sean. He's less than a year old. Why would anyone take him?
Good question. Why your family in particular? Why an infant? Someone would be taking on all of his care, and a baby needs a lot of it. Well, that confirms it. This isn't a random kidnapping. Whoever took your kid had an agenda. There's a lot of groups in the Commonwealth that take people. Raiders, super mutants, the Gunners, and of course there's the Institute.
So you think this Institute is responsible?
Well, they're the boogeymen of the Commonwealth. Something goes wrong, everyone blames them. Easy to see why. Those early model synths of theirs strip whole towns for parts, killing everything in their way. Then you got the newer models, good as human, that infiltrate cities and pull strings from the shadows. Worst of all, no one knows why they do it, what their plan is, or where they are. Not even me. And I'm a synth myself. A discarded prototype, anyway.
You're a prototype?
As far as I know. Never seen any other synth like myself. There's the older ones that are dumb as rocks and all metal, and there's the newer ones that are almost human. I'm somewhere in between.
You don't know anything about them? Really?
Some kind of security setting strips or blocks out those memories. And it's not just me. Any synth that gets trashed, left behind, or escapes the Institute has the same problem. Probably some kind of failsafe.
Either way, I need to find Sean.
You're right. The speculation is getting us off track. Let's focus on what you saw. What did these kidnappers look like?
The woman was dressed in, I think it was a kind of hazard suit. The man had some sort of metal brace on his arm.
Maybe some kind of improvised armor? A lot of hired guns do that to look tough. The hazard suit is interesting. Not many mercs can afford something that fancy. What else do you remember about them?
I'll never forget that voice. Low and rough. Like sandpaper across your face.
Not much to go on, but a tough and commanding voice can get someone pretty far in the violence business. What else?
One of them came right up to me. Bald head. Scar across his left eye.
Wait. It couldn't be. You didn't hear the name Kellogg at all, did you?
I might have. Everything was foggy.
It's way too big of a coincidence. Ellie, what notes do we have about the Kellogg case?
The description matches. Bald head, scar, reputation for dangerous mercenary work, but no one knows who his employer is.
And he bought a house here in town, right? And he had a kid with him, didn't he?
Yeah, that's right. The house in the abandoned West Stands. The boy with him was around 10 years old.
Maybe it's another kidnapped kid.
Yeah, either that or he's got a son of his own. Not a comforting thought in any case. Both of them vanished a while ago. Haven't been heard or seen since. Let's you and I take a walk over to Kellogg's last known address. See if we can snoop out where he went.
Security doesn't really go to that part of town, but you two should still be careful.
I always am.
So an interesting detail about telling Nick my story and in regards to everything. It's kind of nice not having to remember the information myself, but at the same time it could have been an interesting twist if I did myself have to remember the information and sort of tell it through my character, as if there might have been some wrong choices, but Fallout 4 doesn't have wrong choices apparently, which is curious. What's also curious is the house we're going to is a house I've been in before, and someone in the comments of the previous episode pointed out that I missed a button below the desk in that house, and as it is about to turn out, that button happens to be very important to this case.
I didn't want Ellie to hear this, but I think you should know. Everything I dug up about Kellogg before his disappearance, bad news. He's more than just a mercenary. He's a professional. Quick, clean, thorough. Has no enemies, because they're all dead. Except you. 9 to 1 odds says he's our man. It's more than just you identifying his distinguishing features. The MO is all him as well. Leading a small team to kidnap a baby and leaving one of the parents alive for later. Not many mercs in the Commonwealth can pull that off.
Again, this interesting character of Kellogg, whose house I've been into before. Sadly, no cereals involved. Not delicious. Nope, just stealing babies. That's what he does. Sounds like a nice guy, this Mr. Kellogg. But anyway, we pop into his house. We have some investigating to do.
Let's take a look around. Kellogg must have left something behind. Well, that's one way to hide a room.
And there's the button I was talking about. Somehow missed that. That's what I found really interesting. I somehow missed that button when I was in here before. But, well, you know, these things happen from time to time. I'm not, you know, all-seeing as much as I might like to pretend I am. But definitely interesting that Kellogg might be the guy that took Sean. Although Kellogg didn't have a baby with him, he had a 10-year-old with him. Meh.
Gwinnett Stout beer, 44 caliber bullets, and cigars. San Francisco Sunlights.
Interesting brand. Won't lead us anywhere on its own, though.
I wonder if dog meat could pick up the scent.
Say, that's not a bad idea. Some dogs out there in the Commonwealth can track a man for miles. Why don't you go fetch him and let him have a whiff? See if he picks up the trail. Before you head out, I know this is personal business. If you have to face Kellogg on your own, just say so. Besides, you already have plenty of company. We can't all go sniffing through the Commonwealth after one man.
I want you with me on this, Nick.
All right. Let's get that bastard. This is your show from here on out, okay? You say jump, I'll say how high.
I just want to mention how happy I am that Nick Valentine is a companion. He's a really interesting character. Also, it goes completely against everything I'd said about synths before. I actually, now that I think about it, I really, really want to go back to Covenant with Nick, because I think the reaction, like, if Bethesda have done a good job, and I think they have, I mean, the performance in this game is, well, to be desired, but if Bethesda have done a good job, then I reckon there should be some really interesting reactions to taking Nick back to Covenant. Because they don't like synths, and he's an early prototype synth, quite clearly. You know, the guy is, well, he's a bit of a lad, we'll put it that way. Nick is, yeah, top lad. Top lad is old Nick. Oh boy.
Dog meat. Get the scent, boy. Got something, boy?
Now this is interesting. Like, following Dogmeat to find Mr. Kellogg. It's really strange as well because of the distance that we end up covering with Dogmeat. It's... yeah, it's weird. But whatever the case... excuse me. Whatever the case, it's a cool mechanic because for a while we do have two companions with the three of us in the party. But, yeah, it's an interesting idea that we do get to use Dogmeat in this way, because I don't really use him at all. I like I've mentioned before, I like having companions who have some kind of ranged weapon. I honestly find that to be more interesting and more useful than having Dogmeat run in. Although, he can be a distraction. I did have Codsworth with me as well, who was also a melee companion. And, it's good. It's good to have a melee companion if you want a melee companion. I just prefer them to have guns. I like being able to outfit my companion with armor and all that stuff, and I think giving them guns, especially if a gun turns out to be super effective, I honestly just prefer to give them firearms. It's kind of more my thing, I suppose. I do have a dog collar in my inventory, so it might actually be worth giving one of those to Dogmeat, just for the hell of it. Put a little collar on him, make him look all adorable, as, one should do with one's dog. I know you can also get bandanas. I know you can actually put some stuff on Dogmeat. I know there are things you can do with Dogmeat. But, yeah, I prefer weapons and all that. Also, if you listen carefully, there's a woman shouting just down this street. This is a bit suspicious.
Anybody, help! Hurry, she's in here! Please help!
So, when this happened, I immediately realized this is Hardware Town, which is where Abbott, the guy painting the wall in Diamond City, wanted me to go to get some green paint, which we do actually achieve in here. But when I saw this woman standing outside saying, "Someone please, she's in the back, come help, blah blah blah," I immediately knew what was coming. And if you know Fallout and video games in general, I think you know what's coming as well.
She's right back here, hurry!
She's right back here. Do you notice this woman is sort of standing to the side, not really, being at the forefront of everything? Yeah, this is, Valentine has the feeling we're being watched. He would be correct, because the door closes, which I don't think it was supposed to close, but it did. And on the other side of this door, there's people that want to do the shooting. Yeah, not the best thing in the world. We basically, got let in here to be killed, but, they don't manage to do it. They do nearly get me. They do a fair bit of damage to me. I don't have that many hit points at the moment, but it's okay. What I will say is that when I was playing this bit, I remember what I said quite well because I got very angry and swore a lot, which I think I've managed to avoid doing so much in this commentary, but I do remember in this bit, I got so angry, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it, you probably will, but I got so angry because of the performance of the game, which has been annoying me so much regardless, but there's moments where, like, here, for example, not looking at the Pip-Boy, but where I'm standing when I'm not looking at the Pip-Boy, I get like a solid 60 frames per second, no problem. Like 60 frames and higher. As soon as I look at this room, it goes down to like 25. And when I'm moving here, it gets worse. Like, this got super bad here. And I've had more enemies coming at me at one time, I've looked at more things at one time, but you can see it there. The frame rate gets super, super bad. And it really annoys me. I think this is where I start noticing it. Like, I walk towards the room and it goes like 24, and I look away and it's like back to 60. I took a couple of steps back. This is something I've heard a lot about with regards to Fallout 4, is that some areas just chug. Your frame rate will just chug so badly. And in other areas it's fine. And it doesn't seem to have any pattern to it, because I've had areas that are completely barren and empty that are chugging. I've had areas that are completely packed that are fine. Like, Covenant was fine, Diamond City's fine. then you get here, and it's like, oh, these people are, you know, there's half the number of people here as, you know, in Diamond City. It's very strange, but then I get through the door, and it's kind of okay. You know, it's really, it's weird, man. It's really, really bloody weird. Anyway, this demo guy here, unleash a fair bit of ammo into him, and he's dead, which is possibly for the best. And then, you know, at the back of this room, I do a little bit of exploring as, well, not that much. But at the back of this room, of course, we have the paint mixer. I decide to go to data and grab the quest for the paint. And it's interesting because you do have the option to pick up blue paint, which you can actually take back to Abbott, but I decided that the better thing to do would be to make green paint. Although I kind of, I don't know, I feel like I should have taken the blue paint back, because I'm very curious to see what that would have done. Like, really curious indeed. So I do take some yellow paint, I take a bit more blue, and a bit more yellow. And then, what happens next is really weird. Yeah, I fall into this hole that's full of dead bodies. And it's kind of grim. Little bit grim. Just a little bit. Just really weird. Don't know, I don't want to know what happened down there. But anyway, that is pretty much it for this part of Fallout 4, part 16, I do believe. We don't have much else to do. We pop back up into the store and we go out the front door. And then in the next episode, we're going to be following Dogmeat to, well, we need to find Kellogg, don't we? So we'll see if we find Kellogg in the next episode. I won't spoil it for you, even though I do know what happens, but we will see if we happen to find him or if we don't. Whatever the case, folks, that is it for part 16 of Fallout 4. I do sincerely apologize for this absolute clusterfuck of a series. We had 3 episodes where my microphone audio was terrible, and now we have this episode where the commentary is just dire. So I do sincerely apologize. I will do everything to make sure it doesn't happen again. It shouldn't. It's the first time this has ever happened in 5 or 6 years of doing YouTube, so I think that's a pretty good ratio of fuck-ups to non-fuck-ups. But whatever the case, thank you kindly for watching. Thank you kindly for watching Fallout thus far. Hopefully you'll continue to do so beyond this terrible episode. I've been a Conflict Nerd, and, well, it's a daily series, so I'll see you tomorrow for some regular Fallout 4. Bye-bye!